Hello, travelers. Welcome to the Copperfoxinn. My name is Tomas the Human Bard. I am joined today by...
Onog the Half-Orc Barbarian.
And Bean the Rock Gnome Rogue. So I've brought raspberry jam and I've brought garlic preserves. You said to open jarringly, so I brought every jar that I had. That was what you meant, right?
And we're off on a side quest. I guess some sort of jam and preserve-based side quest.
Well, I mean, it's a good thing you brought some food for our journey out into the wilderness on our side quest.
Well, you know why I brought it, because side quests are my jam. Guys, Onog is looking at me, and he's lifting up his warhammer above his head.
So I first thought maybe your jam and preserve... What do you think I am? Not a min-master?
What am I, some kind of fighter?
I thought your jam and preserve bit was going to be some sort of ranger pun to lead us in, but it was to something that we'd recorded before we actually started the episode.
Yeah.
So then I was completely lost along the way.
This is my rain jar.
Ooh, that's
rain
not
jar?
bad.
I
Rain
put it
jar.
outside to capture the rainwater. It's my rain jar.
And on today's side quest, we're going to defeat... Man.
This is called the
Do you need any more run-up than that?
Nope.
This is the speech
just a
fair.
standing handspring.
You ever jump out of a moving car and try to just go into a full sprint? Yeah, that's how I feel.
We are doing this episode from a moving car, and that's why we're...
The episode today, we'll be discussing Unearthed Arcana 2020 Subclasses, Part 5. And in this episode, we'll be discussing the Drakewarden Subclass for the Ranger.
Yay, so dragon.
Yeah, it's all dragons. The first half, dragons, Yug. The first half of the document was the Ascendant Dragon Monk, which Mercy, Onog, and I discussed last episode. And we were kind of mixed on it. We'll see how much better this fares, as we famously love the Rangers, especially ones with Beast Companions. They're our favorite parts of Dungeons & Dragons. And
that's right. I totally forgot what this was.
Don't worry, it's very different. It isn't different at all.
Shh, you're coloring our opinion.
Thomas, can you please whisper just the rest of the episode?
No!
That was so...
We're not doing this.
That was so tangly on my
ears. We are not an
ears.
ASMR channel. We have discussed this.
The Drakewardens are rangers who use their magical connection with nature to form an enduring bond with a minor dragon, a drake. This bond allows the ranger to summon the drake to their side and to share in the awe-inspiring power wielded by dragons.
I love dragons.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
You know.
To share in the awe-inspiring power wielded by tiny dragons that can't fly.
Dragon dogs.
I mean, I feel like so many rangers out there already with their animal companions have probably made dragon adjacent.
Yeah.
They're like, it's a small dragon, but I'm just using wolf stats.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
happened.
This is how we used to do it, but now we've gotten this, which is just sort of an official way to do that exactly. So, consider how your ranger gained their bond with the drake. The Drakewarden origin table offers some examples. So, right off the bat, First off, I want to say how much I despise this table.
All right, we are not pulling our punches this episode. Good to know.
So, they've been doing this recently, offering origin tables, and that's fine. I'm okay with that.
Right, we discussed it when we were discussing like the shadow rogue in the previous Unearthed Arcana.
Yeah. It's like when it gives you some options, if you don't want to think of a sort of like origin story on your own, or you feel like it's hard to like tie it in, here's some jumping off points for you to go from.
Yeah.
Great, that's fine. That's not what I have a problem with. What I have a problem is this specific table, because none of this makes any sense for what this is. So a ranger, right? Generally speaking, it is a caster class. I like half caster class, half martial class, that it's related to nature and nature magic, but also just related to the skill and the abilities of someone who survives in the wild, right? And even like the Beastmaster Ranger in the Player's Handbook, it's like you have a beast because you spent a lot of time learning how to tame one, generally speaking. It's like the bond you've created is so intense, not because your granddad was a wolf, but because you just honed your wolf
You're chill with
charm
dogs.
skills. Yeah,
Yeah, like you found the wolf, it was injured, you raised it, you know.
and now it trusts you.
Yeah.
So,
Kind of.
this origin table reads to me much more like a Draconic Sorcerer origin table than a Drakewarden. Because it
Oh,
just
I've already read the first one, and it seems almost like a wizardy
Exactly.
kind of
So I'm going to go through them real quick. We don't have to spend tons of time on this, but I just want to talk about them. So the first option, there are 6 options. You studied a dragon's scale or claw, or a trinket from its hoard, and created your bond through the token's lingering draconic magic.
So is this ostensibly from the Drake's
Wait a
hoard?
minute.
Nope,
Does this
a
mean
dragon's
that every
hoard.
Does this mean that every place I've ever left some like dandruff or hair, anyone that has found a stray hair of mine
Toenail
is
clippings.
secretly my friend?
Yeah.
And I
yeah,
just
exactly.
like
If you find a dragon's
Yeah, that's what that means.
if you find a dragon's toenail clippings and you just hang out with them, you get a pet Drake. Like what? Okay.
I don't-
A secret order of rangers who collect and guard draconic lore taught you their ways. That's the only one that's fine. Like,
that's okay.
That's perfectly acceptable.
that's fine. 3. A true dragon gave you a drake egg to care for. When it hatched, the drake bonded to you. This would
Hold
be
on,
fine if it wasn't a real dragon that you just, I guess, previously already hung out with.
Yeah. Also, man, so I know
What a bait and switch
Yeah.
for the dragon to give you a drake egg. You're like, oh, it's gonna be a cool golden drake. Oh, it's a drake.
Yeah.
Oh.
That is literally oh my gosh. So I used to help write for another fantasy group. I used to literally be like a professional dragon biologist. Like it was my job to help design and create the understandings of dragons there. It's very dumb, but like a true dragon and a drake are so different.
Yeah.
That is like Hagrid showing up at your house and being like, I've brought you this little boy to take care of. And it's like a spider monkey. And you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Okay.
I thought it was going to be like a cool wizard boy.
That was the wildest example I've ever heard in my life, but we're going to have to move on because I don't have time to talk about how Hagrid got brought into that. So the part of that one that bothers me is that the true dragon, if it just said a stranger gave you a drake egg to care for and it bonded to you, fine, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
That fits with rangers. But it's just like, oh, I'm level 1, hi, but I know a true dragon. We're buddies.
I know a true dragon.
He gave me
and
an
the
egg.
I'm babysitting his dog for him.
That's kind of like a
'cause they're not the
big...
same species.
That's kind of a big include on your backstory for a lot of people. Be like, hi, I'm a random peasant, but also I'm friends with a dragon. Anyway, you drank a few drops of dragon blood, forever infusing your nature magic with draconic power.
All right, magic powers aside, that's just unsanitary.
That also implies that you can just go drink dragon blood and you're going to get dragon powers.
If you drink dragon's blood, apparently you get to have a dragon dog. That's just part of it.
Yeah.
What?
Like, as a barbarian, I can just go drink some dragon
'cause
blood.
that's the
and
one-
Get a dragon.
That's the one that reading it, I'm like, that sounds like the origin of a draconic sorcerer. Like dragon's blood was mingled with your own and it gave you draconic magic. But the thing is, this subclass doesn't really give you much draconic magic. It just gives you a pet dog that it looks like a dragon. So it's weird that
So
I
it doesn't-
drank
it
some
doesn't have
blood
really-
and got a pet dog. Like,
It doesn't have anything to do with your innate abilities. It's just you have a dog. This is the subclass.
it kind of
basically-
does, but I mean, overall.
Oh, okay.
People have been modding the ranger thing to make it like, here is my dog, but it looks like a dragon. And
Right.
now we've just come out with official...
Here is my dragon, but it acts like a dog.
Yes! That's what it is.
Okay, an ancient draconic inscription on a standing stone empowered you when you read it aloud. Yet again, it's just so disconnected. I read some writing on a rock, and now I have a pet dragon dog that just
It does
showed
make it
up.
sound like Drake's having a Drake companion is like an infliction that happens
It's like
to
a
you.
curse. Yeah.
Well, and that does feel like very like Skyrim / like Dragon Prince-esque, where it's like, and I spoke the magic words, and then the true Dragon Prince came to me, or
That's
whatever.
okay.
You know? And
Fair
it's like-
enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
But that shouldn't be a thing that happens.
The final one. You had a vivid dream of a mysterious man accompanied by 7 yellow canaries who warned you of impending doom. When you awoke, your Drake was there, watching you.
Why,
right.
7?
Well, that's actually very important because that's a specific person in D&D lore.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's literally like the Platinum Dragon God he wanders the world disguised as a normal mortal man, and his 7 gold dragon allies disguise themselves as canaries and fly around him. This is literally like
God
Zeus
gave it
visited
to
you in a dream, and now you have a lightning dog.
But I'm just throwing it out there. That's one of those, like, you're trying to do the thing where it's like, my backstory, I don't know that he's the secret god, but my character doesn't realize it, and it'll be revealed that it was. Except if the DM doesn't know that, then you just had a random dream with a bird man.
The DM's like, I'm finally ready to reveal the twist. That mysterious man was your dad. It's like, no, that wasn't the twist, but I appreciate your attempt. No, he was the dragon god. Oh, I didn't realize. My bad.
Your dad is the dragon god, and that's why you have a drake.
Oh, yeah.
I can have it both ways.
I mean, it does.
Because you would definitely need your dad to be the dragon god before you could just have a pet. That's the requirement. You definitely couldn't just go get a pet.
Okay, it does seem like it is a little bit different than your regular beast companion, because regular beast companion is like, I sought out companionship with an animal and now I have it. Whereas this does seem to be like
something that has to happen to you.
A dragon chose you.
That's yet again, that's for me, like the part I don't like. It doesn't vibe with me. It seems as though you accidentally stumbled into I have a dog. Where, like, it seems like if you're the Drakewarden, you should be like from an order of like rangers who have bonded with drakes over millennia to become the dragon riders.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? That's like a flavor. Whereas like, I don't know, while I was walking, one jumped out of the woods and I guess this is where we're at.
Although, Thomas, you do have a responsibility now to make one of those memes that's like, Ranger when the small drake shows up, ew, and it's like Ranger and the drake 5 minutes later, and about like all the dad and
yeah,
the dog
like dad and the
memes.
dog. They're like grilling together. Yeah.
Well, and like the interesting thing about these is like none of them are just you found the egg yourself. Like like we said, someone had to give it to you. None of these are like the hiccup, like How to Train Your Dragon origins of you just found one and you felt responsible, so you protected it. You know?
Yeah, which would be great. That would be on flavor. I'd love that. But
or not even. I went to the pet store and I bought a dragon.
Yeah.
They got those.
Why not?
But that's the thing too, and it is like still an optional feature. But yeah, it is kind of weird that this is the kind of the direction that they expect you to be going.
Well, it just lets you know that this is what they had in mind as they designed the class.
Yeah.
Which then will speak to some of the things like that go on throughout the class. But overall, as like a starting point, I'm already kind of on my back foot with this, where I'm like, you're really going to have to win me over here. Mm-hmm. We'll see. The flavor-wise, I'm like, I didn't like really any of them. I liked one of them, maybe. But let's get into the actual features of the subclass, because I'll be real with you guys. I've been, a downer so far. Some of this is fine. Some of this is actually kind of cool. And in some ways, we are annoyed with Beastmaster, but there is some cool stuff going on here. So, Draconic Gift, 3rd level Drakewarden feature. The bond you share with your Drake creates a deeper connection to dragonkind, granting you understanding and empowering your presence. You gain the following benefits. If you can't already, you learn to speak, read, and write Draconic, which Onog talked about in the last episode, kind of being like a ribbon sometimes, where you're like, well, what if I already knew it? I just don't get anything. Cool. And then you learn the Thaumaturgy cantrip, which is a ranger spell for you. Nice. Cool. I will say Thaumaturgy is like fine.
Given rangers cantrips is always a fun, a nice little treat.
I would have loved if it, was like it did something, but it's okay. Thaumaturgy can be flavorful and fun in roleplay.
Hey, maybe you absolutely need Thaumaturgy in order to give powerful enough commands for your dog to ever listen to you.
Oh, perhaps. Maybe at some point in your campaign, being able to slam one door or window shut will be very vital.
Look, your dragon pees on the floor, and then you make your voice boom, and you make all the candles go out, and you say, "No! Do not pee inside!"
Mr. Mittens, you know better than this.
You get the Galadriel face.
You get Galadriel face. Base boosted.
I mean, that is a thing you could do.
Yeah.
What's,
that's how you assert your dominance.
The meme with the images from Venom, where it's like Venom, where Eddie's face is just base boosted. So good. Drake Companion, 3rd level Drakewarden feature. You can magically summon the Drake bound to you. As an action, you can summon the Drake, which appears in an unoccupied space of your choice that you can see within 30 feet of you. The Drake is friendly to you and your companions and obeys your commands. See its game statistics in the Drake Companion stat block. So it's to the right, and we'll talk about it in a second. Which uses your proficiency bonus, PB, in several places. When you summon the Drake, choose a damage type listed in its Draconic Essence trait. You can determine the cosmetic characteristics of the Drake, such as its color, scale texture, and any visible effect of its Draconic Essence. Your choice has no effect on its game statistics.
Just because you give it big horns
I know.
doesn't mean it has a gore
The
effect.
thing is, that's a perfectly sensible thing to say, but it sounds like really mean.
It sounds so mean coming from wizards.
Look, it doesn't matter. You do whatever you want. Get over it.
Shut up.
But also,
it doesn't have lava powers. Just
we
as
gave you
said.
Tasha's cauldron of everything. What else do you want?
we're done. In combat, the Drake shares your initiative count, but it takes its turn immediately after yours. It can move and use its reaction on its own, but the only action it takes on its turn is the dodge action, unless...
we're backpedaling a bit.
Unless you take a bonus action on your turn to command it to take another action.
Okay.
All right.
That action can be one in its stat block or some other action. I don't know why that's so funny to me. I think it...
Build a cake.
I think it means, when they're like the actions outlined in the player's handbook of, actions you can take in combat. Things like hide or disengage or whatever.
No, it says you can tell it to do anything.
Some other
when
action.
You say cast the wish spell.
Yeah,
it has to.
It must do it. If you are incapacitated, the Drake can take any action of its choice. Not just dodge.
Okay.
That would be very funny. No, not just dodge.
I'm gonna put a pin on that moment, but we're gonna come back to it after we finish these couple paragraphs.
Yes, we will get back to that in a second because there's some important stuff going on there. Once you summon the Drake, you can't do so again until you finish a long rest. Unless you expend a spell slot of first level or higher to summon it.
Okay.
The Drake remains for a number of hours equal to your proficiency bonus until it is reduced to 0 hit points, until you use this feature to summon the Drake again, or until you die. Anything the Drake was wearing... See, it should say, or if you die, right? Because it doesn't, until... You're here until I die. Okay, it'll take 70 years.
We all die, Thomas.
Anything the Drake was wearing or carrying is left behind when the Drake vanishes.
So it's sort of like somewhere in between a familiar and an animal companion.
Right.
There's a little bit more. So let's talk about its stats first, and then we're going to go back around, and we're going to spend a good chunk of time on kind of parsing out all of this stuff we just talked about.
Okay.
But let's make sure to hit its stats because there is some important stuff here. So Drake Companion, it is a small dragon.
Nice.
Armor class.
Oh, it's small.
Yes.
It's not even medium.
Correct.
It's small.
It is small.
It's a spider monkey.
But,
oh, boy.
But later we'll talk about that. Some other stuff will happen. Armor class 14 plus PB, which is your proficiency bonus.
Oh, okay.
So as your proficiency rises, the Drake gets a higher armor class.
Love that.
Very good.
And this is its natural armor, so if you get it
Barding,
then that supersedes this. This doesn't add to it.
Correct. But if you're in a real pickle and you don't have the barding, or it died and you summoned it back and it doesn't have the barding anymore, or whatever it is, it still is a little tougher if you're a higher level, which is always useful. Hit points 5 plus 5 times your ranger level. The Drake has a number of hit dice, d10s, equal to your ranger level. So its
it
hit
gets
points
more hit points as you
go
level
up as you level up. And it's 5 times your ranger level. So each time you level up, it gets that extra 5 every single time. So that's pretty nice. Speed 40 feet. It's got a range of statistics, which I won't read all of out, but it has a -1 to intelligence and a -1 to charisma, mostly because it's essentially a dog, so it's not going to be like chatting people up and stuff. But its highest is its strength at +3. Its saving throws, though, it gets some extras. So it gets its saving throws, it gets +1 to its dexterity saving throws plus your proficiency bonus.
Okay.
And then +2 to its wisdom saving throws plus your proficiency bonus. So if your proficiency,
it's proficient in dexterity and wisdom.
but it is your proficient or what? It kind of. It's Damage immunities are determined by its Draconic Essence trait. Senses, dark vision to 60 feet, because why not? Passive perception, 12. Languages, draconic, so it can talk?
You can talk to it.
Question mark?
Well, yeah, eight intelligence is like
the
a
cutoff?
human. That is. Well, no. Like 4 intelligence is the intelligent language cutoff, but eight is like that's a starting player character can have 8 intelligence.
So wait a minute.
The barbarian I've been playing in our campaign for years has an 8 intelligence.
So what's even funnier though to me right now is that like when an animal can't speak, its lack of intelligence is sort of endearing. But the thing is, it's just very dumb. It's just a person who you can talk to who is like dumber than the average person.
Don't think of it as the person who is dumber. Think of it as like a hyper intelligent
animal.
But that's what I'm
German
saying.
Shepherd.
But that's what I'm saying. Once the German Shepherd can start talking, though, and it's like saying very
and now
dumb
you can
things.
Converse with it.
Yeah. So you're like, so what are your thoughts on climate change? It's like, well, I don't believe it. Flat Earth theory. And you're like, no, dang it!
I mean, I guess at a certain point it's cute, and then at a certain point it's annoying to have to deal with, like, you can talk, but you're useless.
Yeah, because if it's low enough, you can sort of get yet again back to the kind of cuteness level of like it's kind of like a kid you have with you in a fun way, where it's just like a passionate child. But this 8 intelligence, I feel like, is a weird spot where it just is like your dumb friend, like the barbarian in the group. They have the same intelligence level.
Rude. Rude.
You're gonna hurt Onog's feelings.
There are multiple ways to portray 8 intelligence.
That's fair.
What's your intelligence, Onog?
My intelligence is 8. Unless I'm playing with the stats that I rolled for when I created Onog in the first place, then his intelligence is 13.
Nice. I thought that Bean was about to go, what's your intelligence? Let us know in the comments below.
Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, everyone, let us know your intelligence score in the comments, please.
What do you think our intelligence scores are?
Wait, maybe don't do that one.
Let us know.
Give us what you think our stats are in the comments
Yes.
below. Don't be mean. We'll find you. Challenge. The challenge rating is equal to your proficiency bonus.
I don't know how that math checks out.
I also
but okay.
don't know why it really matters, but that's fine.
Like,
your party isn't fighting the dragon.
unless
shouldn't.
everyone turns on the dragon and farm it for experience.
Which I don't. Do
You
you
bag of rats,
even?
your
Can
drink.
you? Like that's. I don't like that. So, Draconic Essence. When you summon the Drake, choose a damage type. Acid, cold, fire, lightning, or poison. You know, the dragony ones.
The dragon colors.
The chosen type determines the Drake's damage immunity, the damage of its bite, and the damage of its infused strikes trait.
Okay.
So it has a bite, which deals piercing damage, plus proficiency bonus damage of the type determined by Draconic Essence.
It's got a spicy bite.
So yeah, if it's fire, it deals 1d6 plus your proficiency bonus in fire damage. So yet again, this scaling factor is included not only in its defenses, but in its in its offensive capabilities as well. Its reaction, infused strikes, when another creature within 30 feet of the Drake that it can see hits with a weapon attack. The Drake infuses the strike with its essence, causing the attack to deal an extra 1d6 damage of the type determined by its Draconic Essence. So this isn't what you would think of like a lashback attack. This is like help your friend attack better, which is good because it's your pet. So you'll use this on your attacks every time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or you can help your friend who doesn't have a magical weapon do some little incremental damage.
No, I'll do it.
Okay.
I'm a selfish player. I'll take the bonuses, please. No, yeah, you could pass this around, like, wherever it's needed. So if one person is the only person, like, still useful, like, if people have been, you know, like, incapacitated or tied up or whatever, like, give it to the person who can attack. Sounds great. So that's all of its statistics. So now we can go back and really dig in to what's going on here. Onog, I want to hear your kind of first blush take on the comparisons here. There's little tweaks here and there between this and the Beastmaster. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts, like, looking through this?
So the primary difference between this and the Beastmaster Ranger as it currently stands is that the Beastmaster Ranger has to sacrifice an entire one of their attacks, which they normally only get 2. They have to sacrifice one of their attacks in order to give the command for their animal to be able to use its clearly inferior attack at certain levels. And so in this one, you just have to give a bonus action, which is a better direction, but the problem with the Rangers in the first place is they have an issue with the what's called action economy. The Ranger has too many things that require a bonus action.
Yeah.
Rangers are incentivized to do dual wielding combat, which requires their bonus action. Rangers, one of the best Ranger spells, and in fact most of the best Ranger spells require that you use your bonus action to cast it. And so the opportunity cost for telling your dragon to take a bite is relatively high, because it's like, do you cast Hex or do you have your dragon attack? Do you get your third attack in or do you have your dragon attack? And that one's not so hard, but as you level up, you get more and more bonus action, more concentration stuff. And so the Rangers, without this feature, are already having issues of too many things require my bonus action, so I'm not as efficient on my turns as I feel like I should be. And so this kind of stacks onto that kind of systemic issue a little bit more, but this is definitely a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
The thing I wanted to put a pin in, I'm just going to talk real quick, is why does the dog get better when you're unconscious?
Yeah. If you knock yourself out, it can do whatever it wants.
Yeah, so so now the strategy is to drink a sleep potion, and so your Drake can be perfectly efficient in its own action economy.
If it is not intelligent, you could just play dead, and if it thinks you're
if it's dumb enough,
and you're just spamming
very
little
good.
spells,
That's
you're just
very
like,
good.
pew, pew, and then every time he looks
So-
at you, you're like, eh.
My weird kind of hang up with it right there is it says the Drake can take any action of its choice. So
Right.
the long-standing question, who is the
Who
Drake?
gets to control the
Am
Drake?
I the Drake? Is the DM the Drake? Does the Drake make a roll for it to see what it does? Is it randomly chosen? And that's a frustrating conversation to have, especially when your DM isn't as willing to work with you on stuff like that, which is, always a problem. Like, a bad DM makes anything bad, but when it's not clearly laid out who is the Drake in that situation, it's gonna come up, right? Like, they could have in box text say you are the Drake. The DM is not the Drake. Or they could say the opposite and say the DM is the Drake. If you don't tell it to do something, the DM makes it do things. But kind of pick one. You know what I mean? This vagary doesn't help anybody.
Or even put a little text box that says you and the DM discuss who is the Drake. Even that would be more beneficial.
Decide amongst yourselves.
You and the DM take opposite weekends, and one of you gets Christmas and one of you gets Thanksgiving for the Drake.
I mean, I think, like we said, too, it has an 8 intelligence. That is the intelligence of many of your other players. So the idea that it,
Of the players? Themselves?
No, that's...
Yeah.
8 is the base starting stat.
That is
for human beings.
Yeah,
Yes.
no.
You keep laughing, but so many people use intelligence as a dump stat. And 8 is an intelligence a lot of...
I think... I don't... Am I missing the bit? Because what I was saying was players as opposed to characters, which I thought you were insulting the people at the table. Everyone else at the table's got 8 intelligence. Let's be real here.
The actual human beings.
Yeah, that's what I was like, no, human beings. And you guys were like,
Look. If 10 intelligence is the average human intelligence, that therefore supposes that there must be people of lower intelligence for it to be the average.
This is correct.
1 out of every 5 D&D players has an 8 intelligence. And if you're sitting there thinking, but everyone in here is smart, then it's probably you.
Everyone around me is so smart.
What do you mean? My group's great. Then it's you. I'm sorry.
What I'm trying to say is that, while you could say it's a trained thing and it's going to wait for your commands, you know, it's waiting for you to tell it to do something. And then if it's noticing, all right, this boy ain't going to be giving no commands anytime soon.
Yeah.
then he'll go do his own, it'll go do its own thing. But I really think they need to either knock down the intelligence or give it a little bit more autonomy, because these two things don't go together. They don't make
sense. Yeah. I agree.
That's fair. So the bonus action thing, though, is bothering me, because it reminds me of a similar little chunk of text in the Animate Dead spell, which is every necromancer's favorite spell. It's what makes the skeletons go boom.
Yeah.
And in it says, you can use your bonus action on your turn to grant commands to your controlled undead. And even it says, because you can have cast it multiple times, if you control multiple undead, you can give them all the same command. Or you can give them generic commands like guard this area or keep attack, like attack that man until he dies. I don't understand, especially if we're treating these, like, and this goes for the Beastmaster as well as the Drakewarden, why we can't just give, like, because literal attack dogs do this. You go kill, and the attack dog will keep biting that man until he stops moving. Yeah. Yeah. And so I don't know why and that's the thing too, is that's the real issue with the Beastmaster. And this.
I just had a brain blast, Jimmy Neutron style. You're a ranger, right? What's the thing that rangers always do to the thing that they want to attack? They cast Hunter's Mark on it.
Hunter's Mark. Yeah.
Why doesn't your beast companion just default to it attacks the creature you've cast Hunter's Mark on unless none are available?
Because once again, that kind of does the issue that we've had before in different revised rangers, is that if we're going to act like you have taken Hunter's Mark, we kind of need to give you Hunter's Mark for free.
That's fair. You got me there. That's right. I was kind of imagining a world in which you didn't have to take Hunter's Mark, so that's a better world, a more peaceful world.
And that's the thing, is it's like, the reason people don't like the Beastmaster isn't necessarily because the beast is so squishy. That's one of the aspects.
Mm-hmm. Which I feel like this is actually doing an all right job of, like, it's going to grow with you, it's going to always be somewhat relevant.
This is already doing a much better job of this creature has X stats because of your level, and it's just better because of it, and it will increase and always get better.
Honestly, if someone wanted to be a Beast Companion Ranger, I might have them do this and have it be a dog instead.
Yeah.
But the real issue is that you have to sacrifice your own action economy to tell this stupid animal to do literally anything. Otherwise, like it says, it will just sit there dodging. It will sit there not attacking, not getting in the way of things, not doing anything. It will literally just sit there doing nothing. And you're like, what is the point of training all these animals if it's not going to help me when I need it to? And that's the real feels bad moment, is because of the flavor of having to micromanage your own attack dog is so annoying.
All right, what if it was something, hear me out. What if it was something along the lines of, like, when the Drake takes its turn, it will take the attack action on the most recent creature you took the attack action on, unless otherwise directed. That way it's like, it's going to follow you around attacking what you want. You can still choose to have it go attack somebody else, but you'll have to use your resources to do so. But then it just kind of acts as like a, like a spiritual weapon following you around and attacking.
Yeah, it kind of just copies what you are doing.
Yeah.
If you are dodging, it's going to dodge. If you hide, it'll hide.
That's an interesting idea too. Something along those lines where it'll take the same actions you took. Interesting.
Unless you otherwise tell it to.
That's very interesting.
You're its master.
Oh, it can take any action that you took for free.
I actually really like that.
That's actually, Bean, man, you always are like, I don't know about Dungeons and Dragons like you do. And then you come up with this great stuff. So you know what? Give yourself some more credit.
I'm not creative. I'm just not the savant that Onog is, or I've memorized all the stats.
Pish posh. Let's read on a bit.
All right. Let's see what we get at 7th level.
Bond of Fang and Scale, which may remind you of the Beastmaster one called, I think, like the same bond of tooth and claw or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
The bond you share with your Drake intensifies, protecting. I didn't mean to say it like that. I'm sorry. Protecting.
I did.
Protecting you and stoking the Drake's fury. While the Drake is summoned, you and the Drake gain the following benefits. You gain resistance to the damage type chosen for the Drake's Draconic Essence. Nice. He's a fire Drake, I get fire resistance. She's an ice Drake,
Yeah.
I get ice resistance. Choose the following.
Nice.
The Drake gains a swimming speed of 40 feet and can breathe both air and water. Or the Drake grows wings and gains a flying speed of 40 feet. Yeah, now we're talking.
Yeah.
Now we got a
booyah.
baby dragon.
And the Drake's bite attack deals an extra 1d6 damage of the type chosen for its Draconic Essence. It's growing. This is sort of the war turtle state. You know what I mean? The kind of mid-anamorph.
The medium evolution.
Yeah, the medium evolution level where you're not quite the thing I'm hoping for yet, but you're getting there. You're getting there. Mm-hmm. Drake's Breath is the 11th level feature. As an action, you can exhale a 30-foot cone of damaging breath or cause your Drake to exhale it.
Oh my gosh, amazing.
So you get it or it gets it. So here's one of the things, okay? Remember earlier it was like your nature magic is now infused with Draconic. This is what it meant. This is the only way it modifies you in any way. You can just get a breath weapon now.
So Onog is going to get very mad at me for referencing this.
Okay.
But it's a little bit like in the Aragon books where it's like when you bond with a dragon.
Okay, no, I get what...
You get, but the magic of that bond, it's not just that you have the connection,
It
also
bolsters you.
Yeah, it's a
get
two-way...
sort of draconic stuff
That's
from
true.
it.
That's actually pretty fair. So
it's like that.
Yeah, so choose acid, cold, fire, lightning, or poison damage. Each creature in the cone must make a dexterity saving throw against your spell save DC, taking 6d6 damage on a failed save, or half as much damage on a successful one. The damage increases to 8d6 when you reach 15th level in this class. Once you use this feature, you can't do so again until you finish a long rest, unless you expend a spell slot of 3rd level or higher to use it again.
Love it.
Right. Oh, so these guys got Fireball too.
Yeah. Rangers get Fireball at 15th
Rangers
level.
get Fireball.
I'm imagining this image of like bandits break into your camp. They've grabbed your Drake. They've muzzled it. And they're like, what? Is he going to spit fire at me now? And you're like, no, but I will.
That's actually fantastic.
That's very good. I like, yet again, and we've talked about this more recently with the design choices of you get it for freezies once, and then you have to burn resources for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That seems to be the
direction.
be the trend.
Yeah, and honestly, I really like it. Mm-hmm. Every time they do it,
especially
I'm like,
with limited resources like ranger spells or monk key points.
Yeah.
Definitely. So the final trait, perfected bond. Your bond, your bond to your Drake reaches the pinnacle of its power. While your Drake is summoned, you and the Drake gain the following benefits. The Drake grows to large size.
Oh my gosh.
The Drake's bite attack deals an extra 1d6 damage of the type chosen for its Draconic Essence, for a total of 2d6 extra damage. When either you or the Drake takes damage while you're within 30 feet of each other, you can use your reaction to give yourself or the Drake resistance to that instance of damage.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
yeah,
boy.
reaction. It's like a cunning. What's the rogue dodge?
Cutting.
Uncanny dodge.
Uncanny dodge. It's like that. You just like take half damage on it. Nice. That's sweet.
This is literally like the Pokemon. Like, I trust my Pikachu so much. He took damage, but I decided that I loved him so much that he didn't.
He didn't actually. Yeah. It's large now, guys. That's the big part I like.
It goes from small to large.
Yeah,
There's no
there was
medium.
no medium
There's
stage.
no.
It
It
just jumps.
It goes straight to large. You can ride it now. Is the big thing.
Once again, though.
Yeah.
I'm jumping from the Aragon books to the Aragon movie.
No.
Very bad transition.
Oh, because it jumps to large in one.
It literally flies in the air and it's tiny, and then it comes back and she's huge.
Honestly,
And
you're
in
right.
the movie, They just do it. In the books, it takes her like, a year to grow. But in the movie, she just comes back and is huge now. And
in the
Dungeons
movie,
and Dragons was like, we love that.
In the movie, isn't it also like to an Evanescence song or something? Like in the film?
I think so. If not, it's
or it was in a trailer to an Evanescence song.
Look, I don't mind bringing up Aragon books, but I will not stand for discussion of this movie.
Okay, fair enough. So
I'm just saying, I think that the D&D designers watched the Aragon movie and then went, we can do that.
What if we
put
did
it on
that?
Paper.
You're not wrong. So in one way, you're not wrong because the flavor being drawn from here is dragon riders and dragon companions in media.
Right.
So there's a little bit of How to Train Your Dragon in here. There's a little bit of Aragon in here. That bond of person and dragon that like they both grow together and become powerful is there, and it's rooted in those sources of inspiration. But it is sort of just a Beastmaster, huh? It is sort of just
Yep.
just Beastmaster, but this time they just guarantee you get a good animal, and then they actually make it meaningful because it actually can. It knows what animal you picked, so now it can do stuff. Because in Beastmaster, it's like any animal any beast with this challenge rating or lower or whatever it is, without a fly speed, or I don't remember exactly the wording. Something along those lines. And it's because it can be literally anything, like you can pick octopus. And so then they can't do that cool of stuff because they're like, what if they picked octopus? What
if they picked octopus?
We can't
then
say
the fact that we gave it wings.
Yeah, we can't say it grows spectral
sorry.
wings because it's like, what, the octopus?
How dare you? That's amazing.
That's all right.
Octopi are awesome, and I am going to play as a winged octopus in my next campaign just to spite you.
Octopus.
That's going to be my next creature I bring in is an I'm trying to combine octopus and Pegasus. Octopus.
Okay, this is going to go south. This is going to get not family friendly real fast.
No.
You are playing a character in a game named the Octopus, so that's pretty close.
I am. That's true.
Yeah. So, okay. I know I was like harping on it's lame and I don't like it and I hate this and bad, Ranger bad LOL. But even I must begrudgingly say that by the end of this, it kind of brings me around a little bit.
Yeah.
I kind of it ends pretty
powerful and
strong.
cool.
Yeah. Unlike the previous, the Ascendant Dragon, which started pretty good and then ended kind of fizzling. This one starts off and I'm like, yeah, I know how Beastmaster works, kind of annoyingly. And then it just keeps getting better and I'm like, oh, actually, you're kind of growing on me here.
Basically, the story of this is you, as like a weird, nerdy nature boy,
Rude.
make a weird attachment with a dragon.
Oh, no.
And the rest of your party is like, what are you doing with that tiny dragon? And you're like, but I believe in this tiny dragon. And then one day you show up on your giant dragon, and you and the dragon are both spitting fire. And you're like, what's up now, homies? And
For the record,
know.
it was small and large, not tiny and giant, but, close enough, I guess.
okay, I wasn't using the particular.
It's sort of like in that one episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where Joey Wheeler uses the Time Wizard to make the baby dragon grow into the ancient dragon. That's a deep cut.
Which is exactly how Yu-Gi-Oh! Works.
That's exactly how it always worked.
Yep. Nothing else wrong about that.
And the enemy monsters all turned to dust because they got too old.
I proposed that we all talk like Joey Wheeler
for the rest of the episode.
The rest of the episode.
No, let's not.
Oh, okay.
Spaghetti and meatballs, you.
No!
Okay. So, overall, I begrudgingly must say, I kind of like it. It's okay.
Yeah.
I would probably play one and maybe work out something with my DM where I don't have to waste my bonus action every time I tell it to do something. And we would I'd slide them a $5 bill under the table and be like, just let me do it. Let me do it and we'll be cool.
I mean, yeah, like this starts off really cool and I like the flavor of the stat block it brings.
Yeah. I agree.
Because one of the attempts at like reincarnating the Beastmaster Ranger a while back was like, you just get these stat blocks and then if you want it to be a bird it flies, if you want it to be a bear it climbs.
Yep.
And it's like that felt so impersonal, whereas this one, because it's literally just like you get a dragon, this is the dragon. but you get to pick what color it is. Like, that works so much better than what was done before.
Yeah.
And I like the scaling of the power. I don't know if the numbers necessarily match up, but I do like
the idea.
I do like the ability that it does. It's not just like it does 1d6 forever, and that's it, and there's no point to it. Yeah, but it gets more power. It literally learns acid ball or whatever damage you want it to do.
Lightning ball.
And then it teaches you lightning ball. You know, and like that's really cool. There's like a reason you have abilities outside of just babysitting your pet.
Yeah.
But that are tangential to babysitting your pet, so it's still kind of cool. I do like the ability to summon the animal. From a storytelling perspective, though, from a DM's perspective, I actually don't mind that like the beast companion can die for the Beastmaster or for the for the Ranger Beastmaster subclass. The issue is when it's dying every session.
Yeah.
You know, because
it's the number one concern every session.
Yeah, because there is this cool aspect of storytelling where it's like, my pet could die if I put it too far in the front line, but to save my friends or myself, that's what I have to do. That's a narrative twist. That's something that can happen. That's dangerous. That like fuels role playing and things like that. And the ability to just go, oh, I cast a spell and the same one is back. You know, that feels a little weird.
Did it say that, though? Because that was going to be a question I had. Because it says until it reaches 0 hit points. Is it saying that you can summon it back?
Yes.
You can literally summon it.
As
so
an
it
action.
just doesn't die.
Yeah, no, it
just
goes
die.
away when it goes to 0 hit points.
And that's the thing, is that's an elegant response to, well, my dragon keeps dying, so you can just cast it again.
Yeah.
But the downside is you kind of do lose out on that role playing of like, oh man, you know, the ranger just lost Mittens. We've had him with us since like, you know, session 0. This is really hard on him, and then the ranger goes out and does the ceremony to summon a new one.
Yeah.
And like
Mittens
maybe
too.
learn to love again. But it's like when it's like explicitly the same creature, it kind of loses that bite. And
it has a little
from
bit...
a role.
Yeah.
From a role playing perspective, I do kind of that's something that I do miss about an animal companion like that.
Yeah, I think maybe adding some kind of stipulation as to like it could die if this type of thing happens or something, giving it that element of danger.
The classic, just like, you can summon another one, but you know it will never be the same. And you're just like, no.
Like that's kind of sad.
No.
Well,
I think, though, really quick, I think in an interesting way, what you're saying about the sort of this is now impermanent. It's like, whatever, he went away, that just means he's in my Pokeball till later. But honestly, though, it does a really good job of emulating how Pokemon is, though. Like, on the flip side, now it's just a summonable monster that you can even change its literal, like, cosmetics and type every time you summon it.
When you cast it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, wait, this is a very good Pokemaster.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
This is the Pokemon, the Pokemon
it's like,
Master.
Oh my
it's
gosh,
no longer,
you have a Charizard.
Yeah, it's no longer like a beloved pet who I'm worried about dying. It's literally just like, it goes away into a pile of digital corruption and then I bring it back, but now it's got poison armor on. It's like a Digimon evolution or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like Mega Man.
But all in all, I think this is a relatively elegant answer to a lot of the problems that the Beastmaster Ranger runs into, with the small exception of the action economy is still kind of this weird restricting thing on the Ranger specifically, but more importantly, the Ranger with pets.
Insert the, like, he's not there, but he got the spirit. You know?
Yeah.
Like, response.
He's a little confused, but he got the spirit.
Yeah. Like,
yeah. I agree. I think that's a pretty fair way to put it. And I think that, you know, one of the everlasting problems of the Beastmaster is you want, like the player, you want the freedom to have any animal to fit the concept in your mind of like, no, this one's a wolf tamer, but this one's a bear tamer, and this one found an octopus and they bonded. And removing that does lose a little bit of that magic of like it could have been anything. But I think for the rest of it to succeed, that part is the part that needs to get trimmed off. Like that's one of the parts holding it back so much, is that it's this one kind of animal, and then we can actually tune it to feel good and like narrow it down. And sadly, you can't have that vibe of like a noble great wolf who I tamed. It's just always a drake every time. Or I guess if you're going to reflavor, it's a wolf that gets wings and a breath attack, so it's just a drake at that point. So
it's a wolf that explodes sometimes in acid.
Yeah, like wolves do. It's a lightning wolf.
Lightning Wolf is my ska band.
Oh.
I think though, like, there are so many people out there who just fantasize and love dragons, and that is just such a fixation that so many people have.
You're right.
And so to say that, like, this is specifically for those people who've always dreamt of waking up and someone
after a dream where the dude and a bunch of canaries,
yeah, and having a dragon egg and having this special, like, the dragon chose you and you have this connection. So this really does, like, scratch a very particular itch that a lot of people have.
You're right. I think that's a very fair point to bring up. Like, there is something unique to dragons in fiction that is so appealing that it kind of does deserve its own take on it. Because you can always, like, reflavor your Beastmaster as it's a dragon but the stats of wolf. But it isn't the same as this, which is for that, like, that unfettered...
That explicit purpose.
Yeah, that unfettered fantasy of the dragon and the partnership with that dragon. I agree, B. Yep. Good points. Listeners, tell us your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think of the Drakewarden? How do you feel like it succeeds or fails on its attempts to, shift that Beastmaster a little bit and make something worthwhile out of it? Let us know in the comments. While you're down there commenting, remember to like the video and please subscribe to the channel to motivate us to make future episodes during this time when everything is how it is, man. Yeah. That number going up makes me go, I should keep making those videos, huh?
Guys, I don't know. I just want to say, like, we love you and we read, like, all the comments, and we like, it means so much to even know that people are watching the videos at all. Like, I don't know. It's just very special, and I feel like we have the small fan base that we have is, like, so supportive and so great, and I don't know.
We appreciate it.
I just really like you guys.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you guys are awesome.
If you've got your homebrews you want us to discuss on the show, remember to send them to us at our email, thecopperfoxinn@gmail.com, on social media @thecopperfoxinn, or by commenting them below. And that's the episode. Side quest is over, our goals are accomplished, and no one even died.
Hey, and also, if you do fan art, please draw sexy versions, like sexy dragon versions of all of us. Thank you.
No! Well, with that over, we better get to the actual side quest I called you all here for. Mercy was kidnapped by dragons. I probably should have brought this up earlier.
Oh!
Wait!
Yeah. They're gonna kill her. Like, any...
Oh, okay.
The deadline was a couple of minutes ago, so we should go. We should go.
Okay, let's go.
All right.
Okay, bye, guys.
Bye.
Keep on adventuring!